Run into Old Navy. Today's the last day to get 50% off all Old Navy active. All your favorite active leggings, hoodies, mesh tees, and more are 50% off. Hurry, it ends tonight at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Valid 2/23 to 2/24, excludes in-store clearance.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, everybody. What's that? I don't know what that is, but I'm about to figure out what the hell it is. Hold on, we got Clint. I want to grab Clint in. All right, whatever that was, I'm glad it's gone. Clint, what's up?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what the hell that was for a good minute. But welcome to tonight's show, guys. We got a great topic for y'all. If listening right now, you're on blogtalkradio.com/G.F.T Radio. It is February 21st. Black History Month is about to come to a close, so I hope those of you who like to educate yourself a little bit more, even I know most of us do it year-round, but for those who like Black History Month to kind of dig in a little deeper and learn a little more, I hope you guys are learning a lot of different things and educating your kids in the process. So, guys, y'all want to say hi?
What's going on, people? It's your boy Clint. What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building, ready to do the show, ready to, like you said, close out another great month of February.
Yeah. It's been an interesting month, so been busy, but an interesting month.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I did notice and I was definitely feeling was I saw quite a few people was posting different historical facts and things like that out there, but then it was a couple where they were like, I'm trying to remember how they went, but basically it was like, we celebrate Black History 365, 7 days, 7 days a week, 365 a year, just because that's our life, that's our heritage. And then they were like, yeah, but February that's for everybody else. Just a reminder for them, like we here. I was like, yeah. That's right,
like
that's right.
But most of the nationalities, you got Spanish Heritage Month, Jewish Heritage Month. Like a lot of different heritage has their own month. So I'm okay with other people acknowledging us during this month as well as ourselves. But I have an issue when people say we shouldn't have a month. We should celebrate at 365, but every other heritage has a month. Why not us too?
Why should we? Exactly, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
so,
true
but I absolutely agree with 365, 7 days a week. We should be knowing something about the history. So.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm all with that, but kind of want to, let me give out the phone number, 657-383-1155. Willie, are you on Twitter?
Yep, I'm jumping on there right now.
Yep, so at GFT_radio, I feel like I put him on the spot. I don't know, but, hey. That's life. I got to man the phone. Somebody got to man the Twitter. I don't know. But
but copy off some merchandise. Okay, I'm out in these tweets.
You said what?
Said I'm out in these tweets. It's okay. I got it.
Yeah. And copy off some merchandise on teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. Let y'all know. Let us know if y'all support what we're doing and that everything. If you know about podcasting, everything costs so. Chip in. Every money goes towards paying this hosting site and other things that we do, as well as other sites that we have information on. So we got to pay for those things. Those things ain't free. If y'all know it, y'all know. So support it.
Definitely.
Right. So I think Willie and Clint started off this topic. Huh?
No, I was going to tell them if they can't get the clothes, also get the merchandise like the mugs, stuff like that.
Yes. You got hoodies, shirts, long sleeves, mugs. I'm trying to think of other stuff we can add. Make a beach towel. Y'all playing around. Don't do it. I make a beach towel.
Right.
You on the beach like that. No, y'all ain't ready for this.
I'm gonna need. What up, though? Beach towel. That's what I probably need. Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking about logo towels, but yeah, our fans dead serious. Commander Cheeto towel, orange towel. It say Commander Cheeto. No, we can't rep him. Oh no. But that's definitely Oh, see now, Willie, you're gonna put it on me. I'm gonna be sitting here one day and be dead serious. I'm gonna do it. Get y'all a podcast towel, tote bag, something.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you and Clint were talking about this topic, and I just kind of like jumped in and got some information. So y'all want to explain how we got to this topic?
Man, I forget the initial conversation, but I know
we talked about I think your post on Instagram about the Terry Crews.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, about the Terry Crews.
And then the D.L. Hughley thing.
Yeah. Him and D.L. had a back and forth, and my thing with him was with Terry Crews. It's like I feel like he's fraudulent. You feel me? He's a complete fraud. That's just my opinion on it, you know. And just because, you know, D.L. Hughes thing, I guess when D.L. commented and said what he would have did, you know, he took it personally, and then he threatened D.L. Hughes, like, what if I smack you or some shit like that? Now, my thing is, you had all that energy to talk about all this toxic masculinity, because he be using that word too. And he be online, tweeting all day, talk about toxic male behavior. You feel me? But you're quick to say you'll smack the shit out of a black man on there, but, you know, what was that energy with old boy? Now, I've seen the post, and I've seen he pushed the old dude off him and all that type stuff. But until this Me Too movement, it's like you hopped on that. You feel me? You're trying to ride that wave. You feel me? And then when everything, you know, go on, you want to blame men. You feel me? It's black men at that. You know what I mean? That's his main thing, because I think he got daddy issues. You feel me? And when it comes to this toxic masculinity, I think that's just and femininity. I think those are just ridiculous terms. Those are just made up terms. They don't mean nothing. You feel me? Like, some people are just assholes. You feel me? Like, some people are just bad people. Doesn't mean that if they're male or female. Doesn't have nothing to do with masculinity or femininity. You feel me? I think we're trying to put these negative connotations on these terms that's been around forever, because, you know, we're in this whole new age where everybody wants to be a victim. Everybody wants to blame somebody else for what's going on with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's what I get from, like, it's a whole lot. See, my thing with Terry Crews is a whole lot of, you know what I mean, when the stuff came out with Liam, whatever his name is, he defended him.
Yeah, I mean, mm-hmm.
Yeah, like he defended him at first. It's like, come on, bro. You feel nothing?
I was very upset because y'all know I love Liam, and I was like, what?
Yeah. So he defended him on that. You know what I mean? With me, it's almost like when I see men hop on that, especially black men, it's like when we talked about feminism before and how that was a white woman thing and not a black woman thing. And black women should have never hopped on that. You know, we did a show on that. It's the same thing when it comes to this toxic masculinity. It's toxic, like, I mean, that's not our fight. That's that white people stuff. We talk about patriarchy and all that. That was never us. We get that. And if we do, you know, if somebody subscribes to that, you know, it's an individual case by case basis. Like, I don't really think none of that stuff mean anything. You feel me? I just think it's just propaganda. You know, a lot of it is being politicized. You feel me? You know what I mean? And, you know, like earlier today, you know, we all know with the Jussie Smollett, you know, I've been making fun of dude from the beginning because I felt like he was lying from the door, right? But here's my issue.
Oh, right,
I feel like it's an attack on men, and especially black men. Because here's my issue. The corny female comedian Amanda Seales, you know, everybody like her. I really don't like her because I peep her game from the door too. You know what I mean? Out of all that, she brought it back to black men and blamed black men for that situation and for all the current ills that's going on within our community. It's like, that's an issue with me. Like, that has cause I'm a black man. It's like, how are you blaming all of us for everything?
Well, one person's decision, yeah.
Yeah, or for all the ills, like for everything that's going on in our culture, in our society, it's like black men are getting blamed for everything. Like, where's the responsibility? When are women going to take responsibility for the ills, for certain things? Or, you know what I mean? Or why are we just making a general blanket in every black man or every woman as toxic? Like this, like, you know what I mean? Somebody, I was on Twitter, somebody said, man, they should have never gave you Negroes the word toxic because y'all just using it and it without any context.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I feel was going on. That's how the conversation spurned.
Willie?
Yeah. So I was following the situation with the Terry Crews thing and other, you know, discussions about toxic masculinity and all that kind of stuff. And so, like, I'm kind of on the opposite side of this because I feel like, you know, well, I do share a couple of points that Clint does in terms of, you know, the kind of the propaganda or the term dropping that a lot of people are doing, and then the blame game, I feel is where people start to really take things too far because people are quick to want to blame somebody. They want to blame something, right? And they pick and choose what they want to blame based on either how they're raised or what, you know, where they're from or the political side that they run with or even the social or racial divide that they sit on. And so I definitely agree that, you know, a lot of times, I mean, you know, I didn't hear about the Amanda Seals thing. I'm not really into the some of the stuff that, you know, is out there on the web, you know, when it comes to some of these commentators. So I don't usually pick up a lot of that stuff. But, you know, when I hear about stuff like that, it does make me sick that they would think, you know, you can generalize or blame an entire section of people for things that are going on against that same people. You know, that's troubling to me, and that's toxic to me. So, but you know, when it comes to the toxic masculinity thing and the toxic femininity thing, I believe that they're real things. I believe that they're legitimate arguments for things that need to change. I feel like some of the stuff that went on in this Terry Crews D.L. Hughley thing were probably just blown out of proportion because of the situation and how things were handled. And I think that's the point that I think some people miss. Like there was a video I think Clint had posted, and it was one of the commentators. What's the guy's name, Clint? The one that you had sent us the video on.
I sent you one from Boyce Watkins.
Boyce Watkins. Okay, so I was watching Boyce Watkins. Yeah, so I was watching the Boyce Watkins one, and you know, so it was like there was a bunch of discussion that he was having, or not discussion, but comments that he was having about the situation. But made me upset about that video was he took the stance up front of, I don't like Terry Crews. And so that's my problem with that up front. Up front, who cares? I don't care who you are. Boyce Watkins, I don't know what his claim to fame is, but you can't judge a person's situation based on what you don't like about them. That's where I think our number one problem is a lot of people take the stance of, I don't like this person. Now, you've already preconceived judgment on a person when you do that. You've already taken a stance against that person when you do that. And I think that's the initial problem there. Is that toxic masculinity? I don't think so. And I don't think people should call that out as that. But there was the way things were handled when it came to the way what's his name, D.L. Hughley handled the situation. And I think that is when you start seeing what people are trying to say toxic masculinity is, because you have a situation where a man says, hey, I'm in a situation where I feel like I'm either at odds with a situation I can't defend myself in, or I'm talking about from the Terry Crews standpoint, you know, he feels like he's at odds in a situation he can't defend himself in or explain himself in, and he's making conscious decisions at that moment, in the heat of the moment, right? So D.L. Hughley says, oh, no, if you big and bad and you got all these muscles, you should be able to fight this man. You should be able to beat this man up. So my thing is, what a D.L. Hughley stance of it is, and why I think that's toxic masculinity, is because he takes the stand of you're a man, you have muscles, you have the ability to beat somebody up. That's toxic, because you're telling this person don't use your God-given sense of human decency, for one, or your ability to think. Just go with your gut instincts and your primal instincts, and just start wrecking shop on everybody. Just start beating everybody behind. Just start kicking doors in. Just start being a man. And that's how he put it. And so I think that's where the problem became, is that it's like you're making judgment calls on people based on things you sat there and thought about, not that you've been involved in. You know, and I think I remember an interview where I think it was on Vlad TV, where he even said, I've never had somebody grab my nuts. You know, that's what D.L. said, and or to that effect. I don't know if he said those exact words, but I do believe he made the comment that he's never had another grown man grab his balls. So my thing is, so that means you've never been in the situation. So how are you speaking on what this man should have did? And he started off the correct way. I felt like D.L. took it the correct way. I think Vlad led it on and pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. But the thing is that his stance of what this other man should have did was where he went wrong, where he went too far. And I think that, you know, feeling like you'd have a personal grudge against somebody, making that, and that makes that person automatically wrong, automatically at fault for the situations that they put themselves in, and it goes back to the whole mentality of prostitutes deserve to get raped. Put yourself in that. You're a prostitute. You deserve to get raped. Oh, you're a woman wearing a dress. You deserve to get raped. Oh, you look a certain way, or you act a certain way around men. You deserve to get raped. That's the same mentality, because you're sitting there making a prejudgment on a person based on the way that they normally handle themselves. I'm sorry.
Or the outwardly appearance.
Right. You know, and I get it with Terry Crews. I get it that, you know, black men feel some kind of way about Terry Crews because, I mean, I don't know where Terry Crews was raised at. I don't know who raised him. I don't know if he got daddy issues or not. I mean, I kind of feel like he might, you know, because there's certain things he do and there's certain ways he, you know, and I think he has cultural issues. You know, I don't know where he was raised or how he was raised. I'm not gonna make a judgment call on that man, but I do feel like there's something there. There's some underlying issues there for him to do what he does. The way he's shucking jobs for the way he's shucking jobs for the man. I get that. Believe me. I think it was our fellow blogger did the video, and his whole video, I think three and a half out of the 4.5 minute video was just talking about all the ills of Terry Crews. And I get that. I do. I 100% agree. There's a problem there. I do. But I can't dismiss the fact that a grown man made a conscious decision at that moment because he was in the heat of a moment of how he wanted to handle his current situation. I can't say that you're not a victim. You put yourself in that position because I feel like your career choices are against my career choices, or that your career choices are not what I think are appropriate for you. That's over the top to me. It's like I just feel like that's just too much. We can't put our own personal agendas on top of somebody and then take away their ability to be not ability, but, you know, take away the facts of the situations that they've been in.
I want to say this.
I think that. I just wanted to respond right to that point.
Go ahead.
Quick. I just wanted to respond. I think that's where me and Willie differ. That's where me and Willie split right there, because like with the Kushite Prince and the videos, I think that's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, you've been almost cooning, like you said, shucking and jiving for these people. So when that happened in that situation, you feel me? If you never chucked and jive or coon, I would have gave you the benefit of the doubt of saying, okay, maybe he was in shock or you know what I mean, whatever. But to me, it feels like you knew what was going on and you chose your career over speaking up at that time. And now since we're in this time of this Me Too movement, you took your shot to speak up when you could have said something right then and nobody would have judged you, because everybody would agree with you that that's inappropriate. You feel me? Allowing it going up and another man. Yeah.
So here's my standpoint, and I want to say we got 2 calls on the line. I see y'all, but I want to get my point out, and then I'm gonna add y'all. I'm add y'all in one at a time. The one that's been on longer, I'm gonna add you in first, and then the one that just called in, I'm gonna add you in after. But here's my issue. I'm kind of along the lines with Willie, only because we go back to the statement of men being assaulted by women and people not realizing that women are predators, or people are like when a man is assaulted in any type of way, whether sexual or a certain way, it's always the initial thought is, why didn't you fight back? It's always that. It's always that. So when it comes to male victims, because that's exactly what they are less likely to speak up, because that's the very first. First of all, when it's a female, oh no, you must have wanted it because you got excited in the process, not realizing that sometimes it's involuntary. That's the same thing that mentally messes up women if they're sexually assaulted and they actually climax off of it, and then they're thinking they must have wanted it, because how could you climax during something so traumatizing happened to you? This is where I kind of along the lines with Willie is saying that toxic masculinity does this because you're telling this person to be a man. So if a grown person or older female comes on to a teenage boy, he's a man if he gets it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not looked at as a sexual assault or a predator. In certain situations, it's okay, because that's the rite of passage for boyhood, and it shouldn't be acceptable. It's the same way we say protect our boys, like we should protect our girls. We should protect our men. It's like I said, I watch countless of shows where men are assaulted and they don't come forward for this very exact same reason. Whether we like Terry Crews or not, if in fact this actually happened, and then on top of that, I'm gonna take it a step back. You're saying, Clint, that he just came out in the Me Too movement. That's not correct. He spoke on it right after it happened. He went to the executives and addressed them, and nothing happened because they had the same idea. You a big ass dude. Even when he went to Congress to pursue moving forward and try to protect people from this type of situation of people in power, one of the congressmen asked him a question and said, "Well, Terry, you're a big guy. Why didn't you fight back?" And his answer was, "Because first of all, I'm a black man, and this is the white person. If this man actually grabbed him in a party full of people, didn't give a flying rat's ass about nothing, and this man didn't react the way that most men would have probably reacted, or some men would at least reacted. If he had done that, nobody would have cared what this man did. All they would have saw was this big black man act the damn fool,
beating the shit out of him."
And that's where I don't agree with you. That's where I don't agree with him. I don't agree with that.
I know any man that I know.
You can't walk up to no man. I don't care what your race is, what's going on. You feel me? Because I read that same thing too, to where when he said it, he was there with some other actor. You feel me? And the other actor had to stop the dude and get the dude away. You know what I mean? Because they said Terry pushed him away. You know what I mean? And then the other dude had to call him and apologize and all that. I read all that. My thing is, at no point, I don't care. You feel me? It's 2000, like we always say, 2019. You know what I mean? And this happened a few years ago. Whatever. Man, you're not going to be looked at crazy if somebody does that to you and you react. You know what I mean? Now, if you don't want to react, cool. You know what I mean? I'm not saying go beat the man up. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, where was that same energy and that same thought process when it came to another black man? That's my issue.
You know,
because
I'm not saying
hold on.
No,
I got an issue with that one. I got an issue with that one because
then you want to talk
hold
about.
Hold on, guys. I want to add one of the callers in because they've been on for about 16 minutes, and I want to have them hold on. I think it's Dane, but I'm not sure.
Like, that's weak. You're smashing D.L. Hughley, but it's me.
No,
how you doing, guys?
That's my thing. He didn't say that. That was my thing. He didn't say it in that context. That's my thing.
And it's always not what you say.
He didn't say he'll smack D.L. Hughley in what context?
In the context of that, my thing is, I read that back and forth in that exchange. D.L. Hughley, the way he was coming after him about the situation, he was basically trying to defend his point. Terry Crews was trying to basically defend his point of, I was trying to handle this in a situation where I didn't want to look like the aggressor. D.L. Hughley's like, oh, but you should have did this, you should have did that, and he's like, well, what if I would have smacked you? That's all he was saying. It's the same kind of back and forth. If this happened to me and you were telling me what you just said, and I just said, well, what if I did that to you? And it wasn't in that context. It's a type of energy, but it's not the same. It's not a threat. That's the thing. It's not a threat. He did not threaten D.L. Hughley. He did not come after D.L. Hughley. That's completely false. 100% false. D.L. Hughley was deserving of that comment. He was. I would have made the same comment to D.L. If I would have smacked the shit out of you, D.L. Now what? So no, he was not. He was not wrong for that.
So why would he say that? but you won't have that same energy because that white man who molested.
It's not the same energy. That's a completely different energy. It was a completely different.
That white man energy was worse. You feel me?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I totally disagree.
Not a worse energy.
Yeah, I totally disagree.
I think this backfire on the line, y'all. I want to try to see if we can get her, and I don't know if we can get all these people on the same time. But I need y'all to be cordial. Before I put her in, Dane, you want to chime in?
Yeah, me and Willie Styles, we actually had a conversation about this a couple of weeks ago. My whole take is you don't know what your reaction is until it actually happens to you. You have no idea how you're going to react. And this man's career and livelihood is actually on the line, pending his outcome of how he reacts in front of his wife. He has to take care of his wife and family first. So, foremost, he has to think, did this man just touch me inappropriately in public in front of my wife? He's a giant ex-football player. He's a giant ex-football player. You don't know what type of willpower he had to restrain himself to actually not kill this man. And, take away from his livelihood, because you don't know what's going to happen. You know how the courts have been playing out lately in public perception for black people. So if something would have happened in a negative way more so in a negative way for Terry Crews, he could be in jail right now. He could be pulling what's my man's name? Jesse Smollett.
No,
he could be in that situation right now. That situation that's the right out of Empire storyline right there. But, he could be in that situation. And D.L. Hughley, he's speaking of something that what he might have done, what we all think and say, like, man, if that was me, that wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't happen in front of my wife. But you don't know until you're actually in that circumstances. So I think D.L. Hughley was wrong in that aspect. But I think Terry Crews was more coming from the victim's role of saying that this is wrong what you said. I don't agree with you. And I think public perception took it to a certain point of picking sides, who was right, who was wrong, and making Terry Crews look like a punk, or because he didn't react a certain normal way what people think black people or men should act like.
All right, James. I'm going to put you on hold real quick because I don't know if we can have all you guys on the line because we can get 5.
Yep.
So hold on. No, I think we could get her on. Let me get Sapphire. I think it's Sapphire. I'm getting her in. She can say what she needs to say. Hold on. Is this Sapphire?
Greetings, family.
Hello. I knew it was her. I knew it.
How did you know it was me? How did you know it was me?
I know it because it's like the same thing that pops up when you normally call. So I was like, this is her. I know it is.
Okay. All right. How you doing,
welcome,
family?
Sapphire. Welcome. What's going on?
You are doing good.
Sapphire?
Happy New Year.
I miss you guys. I want you to know that.
Aww.
We miss you too.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, listen, family.
What's going on? You want to chime in on this?
I want to chime in, and I'm going to be brief because I've worked on myself being so wordy. You know what I'm saying? So let me say this. I've got a different perspective on this. And I want you guys to hear me out because I know you're not going to agree with me. But
okay,
I've been doing some critical thinking about these situations, everything that you all have just mentioned, right? And I saw something in the media that caused this episode of thinking on another level, if you will. Now, let me say this. As it relates to Terry Crews and D.L. Hughley. Now, I want to put aside the masculine and feminine toxicity. I want to put that aside, and I want to show you all something. Firstly, D.L. Hughley and Terry Crews are friends. Go back. You got to go back when he was a football player, with the Rams and or Chargers. Go back. They're friends, right? They probably thought we all forgot about that. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. Secondly, I feel that a lot of these people, these celebrities, I feel like they're trolling us because they don't think that we have realized that the game has changed. With the advent of social media, celebrities have to hold their own nuts, excuse my expression, right? They may have agents, but now they have to compete with the general public. As far as entertainment, people are canceling. You understand what I'm saying? They're canceling their cable. They're canceling, traditional television outlets that we were using because guess what? They can now watch Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and watch ordinary people talk about shit, excuse my expression, that we may want to hear about. Now, where am I going with this? I feel like a lot of these issues that are coming up, while there are serious issues, a lot of the celebrities, they latch themselves onto buzzwords, and guess what? Voila. I'm relevant again. Do you see what I'm saying? I realized this with the Terry Crews and D.L. Hughley. They're not fooling me. Understand what I'm saying? Now, they're friends. I think they had a conversation a while ago. Hey, bro, look, I want you to troll me. I'm going to do this. Me and my wife been talking. I want to bring up this and this and that. And I'm, hashtag me too. I want to some kind of way work myself into that. We got a project going. Because what you all have to do is whenever you see them in the limelight doing ridiculous stuff, like Terry Crews talking about a grown man grabbed his scrotum and he felt some kind of way, but he was too intimidated because he's a black man. No, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. I grew up in a family of men, and I know how men are, whether they are toxic, overly masculine, or from the skinny jean generation. I've got them all in my family. And a lot of them have a problem when you look at them too deeply, too wrong. I don't care who you are. So no, I'm not going for that. And they're friends. I think they're trolling us. And let me say this. I think that Jussie Smollett was trolling us as well. Now, I got to thinking about this, and here's what I think.
Yeah, that whole situation.
There's always 3 levels, right? There's 3 levels to everything that you see. There's 3 levels to truth and understanding. I think this is what they wanted. This him going to jail and this big old rigmarole about faking a mega situation with racists. I think this is exactly what they wanted, so that you can, so that the people won't be so harshly when they're judging Trump. You see what I'm saying? Because most of us have an attention span that only lasts about 24 hours because of the advent of social media. So then people will tend to forget about all the other people that are emboldened because of Trump, that are pushing up on people, talking crazy to them, not letting them in their apartments, calling the police because somebody's parking, or just all kind of stuff. So do you guys see where I'm going with this? I feel like they're trolling us, especially when it's celebrities. I think they're trolling us. They cannot get our attention with the traditional media anymore because we don't subscribe to it. So what they do is they throw themselves in the limelight by creating situations that we may think is just happenstance, but really it's planned. And that's what I want to say to you all.
Right. I mean, I actually, yeah, and I actually think that's. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Clint. I think you kind of feel like that's kind of part of the Terry Crews agenda, right? Was to kind of get more attention to himself. I mean, it's definitely what Smollett did in this situation, because I just saw, the Chicago PD released their the basic motive of Smollett's situation is that he wanted more salary, or he was mad about his salary, so that's why he staged all this. He needed some more kind of media attention. He needed some victim attention, something to kind of martyr him and get him the celebrity that he needed to bring his brand up. I mean, it's actually the playbook, right, that he just tried to use, and I definitely agree that D.L. and Terry Crews were friends before, because actually Terry Crews brought it up. That was one of his arguments about why he was mad at D.L., because he felt like, oh, we were friends. I felt like you should have supported me. And so, I mean, your theory, I think, if it's not 100%, I would definitely say there's got to be a 75 to 85% truth in it, because there's a reason, right? There's a reason that he came forward, and it's always the reason of awareness or bringing some attention to something. And if it's not bringing it to the issue, it's bringing it to themselves, right? So I definitely agree that there's definitely some things to think about there. And in this day and age, I can't put anything past people anymore. After the Smollett thing, I mean, before Smollett too, there's been some other examples, but with this Smollett thing, I seriously can't put nothing past anybody's motives at all. Like you can't now, and now that you brought it up, now I have to wonder if that was definitely a motive, and because you think there's nothing for them to gain, but there always is, because like you said, they're competing. And I like the way you put that, Sapphire, the fact that these celebrities, these what are traditional celebrities, they're in direct competition now with the general public. They are, and so the same way the general public gets attention with the ridiculousness, with the craziness, with the things that out of this world. That's the only way we can get attention on ourselves. Viral attention is to do something out of the box, right? Is that now these celebrities have to do the same thing, no matter what the cost, right? No matter the cost, no matter the way they end up looking on the other side of it, no matter how people are going to view them in the future, they do it at all costs. So and I think that to Clint's point of this situation with Terry Crews is already a shuck and jiver, right? So being looked down, it's gonna that's not gonna change that for us. We already gonna be like, oh, we already know, so we good on that. But I mean, the only point I feel like that could be made in his defense, just as my final thing to defend him in his victimhood, just only in his victimhood, is that he wouldn't have come out in 2016 or 2017 when it first happened in the public eye like that, only because of the fact that the same energy that we're giving him is the same energy we would have given him more back then. Because the year of the victim was like end of 2017, 2018, because we still weren't giving victims their due until the very end of that. I think that's the way I feel about it. But I think for men, I don't think men can. I really personally don't think men can ever be victims. We're not going to ever allow them to be victims. There's always going to be a question. Why weren't you a better man?
Do you feel
I don't
like
think we'll
he's
ever
a
let
victim?
them be a victim.
Do you literally feel like Terry Crews is actually a victim?
Not in life. No, not in life. Definitely not.
No,
I mean
in that situation. I believe it's a hoax, and you're gonna have to listen.
Well, I mean, if it's
Let me tell you why.
If it's a hoax, if it's a hoax, I agree. I agree that there's a problem there. That there's a question now because you put it out there in the air. So I have to agree with you that I have to question that now because I can't put anything past people. I can't, and now that you put it out there, that theory, I didn't think about that theory. I didn't. So now that you put it out there, I have to think about it because nowadays we can't put nothing past people. So now I'm on them in the middle. Now I'm riding the fence on it.
You know what?
Can I say something?
Follow the lead and look at not only D.L. Hughley, but Cat Williams, Ice Cube.
Oh yeah.
And what's the other one? And Friday, what's the other brother's name? The other comedian?
Mike Epps.
Chris
Mike Epps. Mike Epps. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're close.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't get it twisted. And Terry Crews has tried comedy. They are close. Okay? And don't put it past them to pull these kind of stunts. And lastly, I want to ask this question to each and every one of you family if you get time to answer it. With the Jussie Smollett situation, what I find so strange is that they were able to access cameras and get footage and narrow down his every move, yet they cannot find these people that are killing all these black folks, these teenagers in Chicago. There's no film. They don't know who killed these people. This is just not adding up for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think. Well, the police chief or police superintendent put it best. He said that it was the publicity and everything that made them do all that extra work for Smollett, and he felt like they should have did all this for the victims of gun violence. He said that. The police superintendent actually said that. It's not their chief.
But he knew you were going to say that. He knew you was going to say that. But what if this is a major hoax to take some of the pressure off of these mega people who are harassing average folk because they don't agree with Trump's policy? What if this is that? I know this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but I'm trying to tell you the game has changed and people better try to wake up to it. The traditional media is no longer that. It's public or popular opinion now. So guys, just think about it. That's all I'm saying.
True. Yeah, court of public opinion is definitely in full effect all over the place. So we judge and we convict based on public opinion nowadays. Nobody's innocent or proven guilty or anything like that in courts. It's all done out in the streets or in the tweets.
Damon, you said you wanted to say something. Damon, it seems like you wanted to get in there and say something.
Yeah, I'm with Sapphire. I also want to say that I honestly don't want to sound callous or cruel, but I actually don't care. Like, these are celebrities arguing with each other. These are millionaires arguing with each other over their feelings. If it's true, if you want to go by Sapphire's assessment of the situation, which I do like. I have my own problems to worry about. I got my own issues. I got real life issues. That's not saying that Terry Crews, if it's true. I got kids to take care of. I got to make sure my family's taken care of, and I got to worry about real life stuff, like worry about not getting pulled over by the police and making sure I make it home safe, type deal. I don't have time to really care about somebody's feelings of what he said this and it hurt my feelings type deal. So that's my takeaway with the whole situation with Terry Crews and D.L. Hughley. But I still do like Sapphire's assessment and putting it out there for for us to, at least be aware, thanks to Jesse Smollett, him and his retarded son.
I mean, I want to give, because, first of all, any other callers out there, phone number 657-383-1155. If you have any thoughts, if you agree, disagree, or, have your own independent opinion, please give us a call. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay. Yeah. On my blog, I had posted something. Because this is about toxic. I mean, this conversation started with about Terry Crews and D.L. Hughley, but it was really just a small part of a bigger conversation, which is, toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. And like I said to start the show, I don't believe in either. You feel me? I believe, masculinity in itself isn't toxic. People can be toxic. You feel me? So if you have somebody who considers themselves masculine, but he's an asshole, or a female that's feminine, she's an asshole, they're just assholes. You know what I mean? They're just going to be, it doesn't matter that masculinity has nothing to do with that. But here's the definition that I had got of toxic masculinity. A social science term that describes narrow, repressive types of ideas about the male gender role that defines masculinity as exaggerated masculine traits like being violent, unemotional, sexually aggressive, and so forth. And it also suggests that men who act too emotional or maybe aren't violent enough or don't do all of the things that quote-unquote real men do can get their man card taken away. Okay, now that's what they're saying. Definition of what toxic masculinity is. Now, to me, you feel me? Like, what are we saying? What are we calling amongst ourselves toxic masculinity? Are we saying just because, like, we roast somebody, or, you know what I mean, gender roles, like a gender role thing?
Yeah.
Because
no, so and that's the thing, and that's the I think that's the problems that because I mean you're right. We made the word up, right? We made the phrase up, right? We did make the phrase up. So there's no set definition. There's really no. But I think what it is, it's having in my opinion, and some of the things I've read, some of the things I've seen people use it, the way that people are using it, is that it's the idea that the violence and the hypersexuality and the bravado and all that stuff are the definitions of masculinity, are the true definitions. The way I was raised, a man takes care of his family. A man defends his home. A man stands up for himself and his beliefs. Blah 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 blah. Right? Those are the things I was taught. But when you have somebody that says, no, a man beats the shit out of everybody just because they said something cross to them, or a man takes a woman and does what he wants to a woman, be it sexually, physically abusive, whatever. A man, when they twist those terms, twist those aspects of what a real man does, I think that's where we feel it becomes toxic, because it's like it's not about being a man. It's okay to be a man. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to take a gender role and live through it, because that's how we were raised, right? And sometimes you have to have some kind of definition of what you want to be in order to be it, right? You can't just throw something out there and say achieve this, and nobody knows what it is. Like, how do we know? You know what I mean? I can tell you all day, be fruitful. But what does that mean? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to me? What does it mean to everybody else? Some people might say, oh, be fruitful means be rich. Somebody else might say, no, be fruitful means have a good family. Oh, no, somebody else might say, no, being fruitful means having a lot of friends. No, somebody else might say, no, being fruitful means having love and being loved. There's a lot of different ways of looking at things. There's a lot of different ways for people to take things and to take it in, you know. But now if somebody says be fruitful and then I go out and rob people, that's toxic. I've twisted that term. I've twisted that situation and did it negatively. Right, you know, and no matter what you want to call it, being an asshole, if you want to call it being over the top, if you want to call it, there's different ways we can call it. You know, people just chose to call it toxic masculinity to define it under the terms of the male gender role, the negative aspects of things that can be done to that role, right? And that's why I liked when you brought up the toxic femininity, because nobody talks about that, because nobody ever thinks about the negative things that can be done under a female role, right? You know, because there's things that females can do that's negative and twist the gender role of a female, right? You know, there's like that. There was this woman I was dating that she was beautiful, she was sexy and all that other extra stuff, and her thing was, though, because she had all this beauty, because she was all this sexy, because, you know, she turned a few heads, she felt like I needed to pay for certain things to be done for her. She felt like if I was going to be her man, that meant that she needed to be able to, you know, have a certain type of lifestyle. She needed to have certain types of things bought for her. She needed to have certain types of, you know, situations created for her. You know, not, oh, let's build together, let's do this together, let's do that together. Her thing was, oh, no, I need to be a trophy. That's toxic. That's toxic femininity right there. She took a feminine trait, a feminine role, and twisted it and made it negative. You know, as the way I was raised as a man, I would have taken care of you anyway, sweetheart. It would have been done. You didn't need to tell me what to do. For one, two, you didn't need to. You don't need to be. You don't need to be my trophy. You need to be my partner if you want to be with me. You know. So, and I think that's where, you know, people sometimes forget that everybody can be toxic or negative,
you know, when my
or
beef
an
really
asshole.
came in.
Yes, sir.
You know when my beef, not to cut you off, I apologize. You know when my beef really came in. Now, what do we say, which is false? But what is the narrative about black men in the black community as far as being a father? They're not around.
They don't take care of their kids.
That we not there. We're not around. We're not taking care. Yeah. I take care of mine. Yeah, I feel you. Yep,
exactly.
Yep.
So when we technically, I'm gonna two birds with one stone. I'm gonna kill that one. Where if you look at the data, the FBI data, all that stuff, you go research it yourself. They let you know black men, we may not be married to our partners, but we're in our kids' life more than any other ethnicity. The American black man, like we're in the compared to every other race, we're in the, you know what I mean. But they push that narrative on us that we're not good parents, or that the black man always leave his kids. Where that happens in every culture, every society. It is what it is. You know what I mean. Men, a lot of men and women just ain't shit, so they don't take care of their kids. It just is what it is. You feel me? Right. But my thing is this. So when everybody got a problem with masculinity, right? Or, you know what I mean? But the first thing we always say when a kid is raised by a single mom, you hear women say it, been saying it for years, and men been saying that child need his dad in his life, or she need her father around. Why? Because we are different. Men and women are different. We see things differently. So my problem with this attack on masculinity is you're taking away. It's like you're trying to take away who we are. You know what I mean? Now I agree with you. It's like, okay, you're gonna have bad apples in a bunch sometimes. You feel me? That doesn't mean that, you know, you should throw. I forget the saying. throw away the horse with the carriage.
Exactly.
you feel me? It's like just because you have a couple of bad ones, that doesn't mean there's something wrong. You need that aura. You need that to counteract and to add on to what the women bring. And the same thing with the women. You feel me? And now when I bring up toxic femininity, it's because I feel like women are trying to use that in reverse to gain power.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? They're trying to use their femininity to effeminate the men.
The roles were reversed lately.
Exactly. You know what I mean? They're trying to reverse the roles because they're trying to gain power. So because they want more power, which I have nothing against that. You feel me? But y'all got to take that up with the white man who created this patriarchal society in America. That has nothing to do with black men. You feel me? Like, that's what I always go back to. That has nothing to do with us. We did not create this. So you can't be mad at us. You feel me? We just trying to get along and get by and get ahead just like you. We supposed to be on the same team. But you're telling me the way I'm being a man is wrong. I should be more, you know what I mean? Like, no. It's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. What do you want? You understand? Like, how do you want us to act? The way you think we should act? But that's not being a man, because a woman can't tell me how to be a man, just like I can't tell a woman how to be a woman.
Well,
first of all, our physiology is different. So just because our physiology is different, our psychology is going to be different from the door.
Our outlook on life is different. What you're saying, Clint, because
exactly.
our makeup is different from women. You know, they're more nurturing and caring. Not saying that we don't care about our kids or anybody else. We just have a different outlook on life because we're men.
Exactly.
You know,
my daughter fell down the steps
too?
last night, right? Tell you a quick story. This is different. My daughter fell down the steps last night, right? We was over here playing cards. I told her to bring me my phone. I had let her hold my phone. She was upstairs. So I said, Mother, bring me my phone. And she do what she always do. Instead of just bringing me my phone, like I tell her to, she's looking at the phone, watching whatever she watching on YouTube, taking her sweet old time, not paying attention. Being extra. You feel me? Mala, hurry up and bring me my phone, like I said. So then, now she's trying to make time. She stumbled, slipped on the steps. She slipped on her butt, cutting down a few steps, try to catch her balance. Boom, flip forward. Boom, hit the ground. Now, a couple of my friends was here. One of my boys, he's about to jump. Oh. I looked at him and like I said silently, man, shut up. You feel me? Because I know she see him react all crazy or I react, she going to get scared. She going to get all, you know what I mean, extra animated. You feel me? So I go over there, I get her, I see she all right. I'm like, she all right. You feel me? She was more embarrassed than anything. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So I looked at her, I said, shake, go like this. She was able to move her body, move all her limbs. You fine. I said, you fine. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's, you know what I mean? I ain't tell her to toughen up or none of that. You fine, baby. You feel me? Ain't nothing broke. You can move. You ain't got no bruises. You ain't got no bumps. You're fine. You know what I mean? Your ego just hurt. I tried to laugh it off with it, you know what I mean? But you know,
that's funny because
when I told her mom that story,
she was all upset.
When I told her mom that story, immediately her mom went into, oh my God, is she all right? Calm down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You feel me? I'm not saying she handled it wrong or she would have handled it wrong. She just would have handled it differently than I did.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I had my son dad was here one day. My son had a meltdown. He was now if you ever been around my son with a meltdown, it could carry on for a good minute. So I'm doing what I was told not to do, like was told to do, just ignore him and let him be great. But he has a tendency when he having that type of meltdown, he wants to attack me. So I'm moving and stuff, and I'm moving. Every time he comes near me, I'm moving. His dad looks at me like I'm crazy. He like, why the hell you keep moving? And I'm like, because like they told me to like, because he's coming for me. So if I move where he can't, like, you know, kick and scream or like kick me or push me, then, you know, he's gonna stop. He turned and looked at me. He was like, Zay, stop. And my son looked at him and stopped. I'm like, and I didn't have to move. He was like, why the fuck you like what are you doing? Just tell him to stop. And I'm like, well, it's not that simple. And he was like, but for him to tell him that, my son stopped. And I'm like, now I always say stop. And then I move because he keeps coming for me. And here he is with a simple stop. And me is like, I'd have moved about 6-7 times after I said stop. And he still ain't stopped. And
you gotta juke and jive him.
Yeah, and then he's like, and then at the end of the day when he finally calmed down and he go to sleep, he like, yo, you gotta stop babying him. I'm like, I'm not. I don't know what's happening. Like,
too funny.
But I laugh because like it's and I laugh when y'all say that because for us moms we like, you know, like I think I'm okay with what I was doing and clearly, but like I think it's just something with the man that these kids just listen and for us moms we can say it too, blue in the face and they like whatever, la 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 la. Like I could be like, how many times I yell at my son for playing at the top of the step and he done fell down, slid down, got breast burns, fell down, hurt himself, cried about it, and everything, and I'm like woo 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 whatever. And his dad like get the hell up and my son get up and just like or stop playing by the step and he'll just move. Mm-hmm. I think it's something about this is why kids always need their dads because like with discipline it's always good for them to do it because moms I guess we don't have that power that or some of us do. Grandmas have it. I don't know why parents
you have it. You have it, but it's still different coming from a man. You feel me? Like my mom ain't holding no punch. My mom whooped ass. You feel me?
Yeah, I do that too. I beat this boy. Yeah, like one day he was doing something and I beat him. I looked him in his face. I was mad about it. I was telling him, didn't I tell you during the whole, you know, you get the beating and your mom talking to you about it. He's like, shut up. Like, just beat me and be done with it. I did one of those. This little boy got the hell up and walked off and was like,
it's not the same.
Like,
it's not the same beating.
It's not the same. Because, like, my mom
it's not the same beating.
Whooped my ass. My dad, though, never, that wasn't his style. He might have popped me on the back of my head about 3 or 4 times ever in life. You feel me? But his sit-downs touched me a different way than when my mom sat me down. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Because, you know, I guess it was that man. Like, I'm going, like, as a young man, my goal is, as a boy, is to grow into a man. So when another man sits you down and that man is your father and he's giving you game or he's chastising you, you have, I guess I don't know if it's just in you to listen and take heed more. You know what I mean? Because than a woman, you know what I mean? I don't know what it is. I guess it's just simple that's how it's just in our DNA. That's our physiology. Like that's just it. That's just who we are. Our psychology. That's just who we are.
Well, I want to contribute to this right here. Now, I can't help but feel that sometimes because of what we've been indoctrinated with as far as gender roles, sometimes we rely too heavily on those roles. Because in my family, we were afraid of my mom. My dad they both gave out whoopings, but it was my mom would put them hands on you. My dad would use a switch or a belt. Yeah, and he was, you know, he would give you a whooping, and my dad was a shrewd man. But my mom, she would beat you down, literally. Literally. So you would want to get the whooping by him. And let me say this, and I have to be careful how I say this because I'm talking about my family here. Me and my sister, our children on a varsity football team. I was told that I was violent by a parent of another team, the opposing team, because when our kids, when they came to the sideline, I stayed over on the sideline because no one was going to call me and tell me about a fracture or something happened. I needed to be right there to see it, right? And so I told 2 of our children, I said this. I said, here you got they are playing safety free and strong safety, these two family members, my children and my family, varsity football. And there was this receiver that was just running in the clouds, just running, just picking the ball out the air and running past him. And I got angry. I said, listen, he's able to jump up, not only jump up, but take both of his hands and pull the ball out of the air, and you let him come down with his rib cage intact. I said, you need to knock all that out. break him. I said, when he comes down with that ball, he should be up in a crumbling mass. And the other parent told the coach about what I said and said that was violent and I was leading the children to violence. I said, this is football, varsity. These are seniors. And sure enough, the next play, it was just all helmet in the stomach. So I'm saying they said that was toxic what I said, But had one of the dads said it, they'd have been okay with that. But is this a game of football or what? So what I'm saying here is I use that analogy to let you know that sometimes we rely too heavily on these gender roles. And this is where we get in the trouble in the Black community, because we have been pitted against one another, and so we rely on traditional roles that don't sometimes work for us. We got to do what works best for us. Right. What one is good at, the other one may not be good at. Together, and you can do the thing. But instead, we rely on roles like someone was saying. This woman thought she was so fine that everything needed to be done for her, and treated like a trophy. But in our community, don't we teach women that if they're a trophy that they get certain attention? My uncle flosses, keeps a certain kind of car, wears jewelry, does all this to catch women, and then acts hurt when he finds out they're gold diggers. Help me make that make sense.
True that. He is sent. He a gold
digger magnet, but he mad. You see what I'm saying? So I want to know what you guys
our
think.
community is full of sense.
I want to.
Go ahead.
I want to disagree with Sapphire just for a second. My father passed away when I was 9. So from the time I became of a certain age, she had to whoop me the most. I still remember my father's beatings more so than my mom's. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to say that. I mean, I get what Sapphire is saying, but certain gender roles, yes, but you still do need a father, because it's something about the dad putting his hands on you versus the mom. Because my wife, she disciplines our kids too. I'm more scared of my wife than I think the kids are, because I'm like, she's just. I'm just gonna say it like that. So that's funny.
His wife feels a little terrifying. She got that look. She got that look.
Damon, this is why we ask you a blank twice if you're okay. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm only playing. I don't want to get beat.
No, but it's cool that when the dynamic of the household is up to that household, who's going to take charge of what. Nobody can say the man should do this and the woman should do this only because they're the man and they're a woman. Whatever dynamic you have in your household, that's your household. Nobody can judge you and tell you how to run your household. So I applaud your family for doing what they needed to do to raise their children and family the right way that they seem fit.
Well, but can I tell you this? With my dad, you know what's strange? I'm sorry. My dad, we saw him as a protector because what we worried about with my dad was this. And my mom would always say, if somebody does something to you, tell me first and let me tell him. Because my dad stage strapped. And he, was one that he owned a bar. And, he was always paranoid about being robbed, and he didn't, how do I say this? I don't want to make it seem like he was paranoid, but he didn't trust people. He was, very mindful of people. And I can remember going to school one morning and the neighbor's dog jumped the fence and bit me. My sisters ran off. My dad, he ran that bar all during the week, and Monday was his day off. I went back home crying to my dad. In the snow, my dad came out in his drawers and no shoes with his gun, and he shot that dog. And it made me mindful of why my mother said, tell me first. You see what I'm saying? Because whatever happened outside of the house, my dad was going to handle it. That's what I felt like. My dad was the ultimate protector.
That's how it should be. Be honest with you. That's how I think. That's how I would like my household to be ran. You feel me? Like I know when I found out I was having a daughter, you feel me? I told her, I was like, all right, you got to handle all the discipline as far as like, you know what I mean, punishing her and stuff like that. 'Cause I damn for sure can't put my hands on her. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if it was a boy, now don't all, because she's still. And this is what I'm saying. It's how you do things, how you go about chastising your child as well, because she still fear me more than she fear her mom. You understand? But she know I'm not going to hit her. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not going to put my hands on her. But I wanted to go back to something Sapphire was point she was making earlier about how they looked at her crazy for saying what she said as being violent. But if a man was to say it, it would be looked at differently. Now, I want to ask y'all, because, we all from different parts of the country. Me and Sonny in the same part. In the black community, to me, to be quite honest with you, I feel like the women growing up, the girls and the women have always been more violent than the men. I have seen more women fight than I've ever seen men fight. But I always say men are more sensitive than women. And that sensitivity makes men go to the extreme quicker. That's why we'll kill each other. Men will kill each other. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You feel me? But as far as just we'll kill each other over a lot of men have died because of women.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You feel me? And a lot of these dramas, a lot of these beats, in my own city, a lot of these little gang wars started over a woman or a girl. And people have lost their lives.
Who set that standard?
That's my point. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Who said you're weak if somebody takes your woman? Who set that standard?
That's my question.
All right. I mean, I think the gender role of as a man, you don't let somebody do certain things to you or take advantage of you. And then that sensitivity, like you just pointed out. I mean, and that's a good point, Clint, is that you brought out, is that it's not about us being bravado. It's actually about us being sensitive to the fact. We're sensitive to the fact that you threaten our manhood. I mean, your post about the masculinity thing is a testament to that, in the fact of we take our masculinity serious. We take it to the point of, but we're sensitive about it in the fact that if you threaten that, if you say you're not a real man because of blah, 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 because you don't do this, we'll get up in arms. You know what I mean? You tell me that, because like I was explaining to somebody, I was like, I know I'm not an alpha male. I already know that. I don't try to purport to be that way. I don't try to act that way. I don't think it's nothing wrong with it. I just think it's something I don't do. You know what I mean? I know my lane. I stay in it. The thing is, but you can't tell me I'm not a real man because of that. You can't take that away from me. I'm a real man because I do certain things that I know a real man does. I do things a way that I feel is it makes me the best man that I am. Now, I don't care about you. I don't care about how you feel about it or how anybody else feel about it. I know how I feel about it. You know what I mean? I know that my dad, you know, I felt like my dad was an alpha male, but he taught me to be a certain way. He taught me how to think through certain situations that, you know, I think that make me a good man. You know what I mean? So you can't take that away from me, and I will fight you for it. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is I think a lot of the energy that we give or that we you know push out there in terms of trying to defend that, you know, being, you know, defending our man status, defending our familial status, defending our what we consider our quote unquote territory, you know, it all comes down to the emotions of it and what we're trying to defend. You know what I mean? So, you know, I think I don't know if it was Sapphire or a couple or somebody else that mentioned we do need to be conscious of the fact of some of the gender roles can be limiting. You know what I mean? If we think through them too hard, and that some people can have the same, you know, aspects. Like my sister, one of my sisters, I always tell her, I'm like, man, you know, you a dude, like you do things dudes do, you know. She dog niggas, she pull one over, she a scammer, she'll do whatever she wants to a guy because she know what she can do, she know what she got, you know. She know that she's and not got in terms of body, I'm talking about in terms of mind. Her energy, her, you know, she's a businesswoman. She's a great parent. You know, she knows how to raise her. I mean, and she's raising boys. You know, I think her boys are just as good off with her as any man has been, or any kid has been with a father in their life. You know, she's doing, you know, what she needs to do with them boys. And I think that it all depends on your attitude, but then also just the way you do things. You know, you don't have to be a man to do certain things. I think that men provide a certain type of atmosphere to a household, and I think that, you know, as you guys pointed out earlier, is that we a lot of times, you know, need to recognize we need both aspects of that parent role, you know, being, you know, the type of role that a mother will play, the type of role that a father will play, because we have father roles and mother roles, right? You know, I was afraid of my mom more than I was afraid of my dad. My dad was stronger, but my mom put that fear in me. You know, and it was a mental thing. It was the attitude. My dad put fear in me based on strength, based on, you know, in like in Sonny's situation, her son is more apt to stop when his dad says it, probably because he has a deeper voice and he has a presence that's fearful in terms of what the presence that he has. Sonny's not being forceful enough in her presence. It's her attitude with her son. Her son is looking at him like, you nurture me, you mother me, you can't be mean to me, but dad can. And that was the thing I got at my house, was that my dad nurtured me. My dad mothered me. My mom put the fear of God in me. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on the attitude. It's just the way that certain things are done. You know what I mean? You know, so it's all about it's not about your gender when it comes to a certain point. You know, like I said, we do need to have both, but in terms of your attitude, you can exude a certain attitude and get things done a certain type of way.
But guys, I can't let this go. Where my brother said that most of the beasts in the community are behind women. We need to revisit that, because here's the thing: if you have a woman and she's cheating on you or she's doing shady things, rule number one, you need to get her together. You don't go, fighting another dude over her. That's it. So essentially, it's not behind the woman. It's behind the emotionalism of the man. You are supposed to drop her. It's behind emotionalism.
Get rid of her. Yeah, you definitely supposed to get rid of her.
You're supposed to drop her. You're not supposed to go and inflict violence or call another man out because he done pulled your woman. That's pimp shit right there. But wait a minute. Let me correct myself. Even the pimp will say, if the hoe chooses, you need to stand down. That's intelligent. I don't agree,
That's what I do agree.
with
That's
pimping.
why I said.
Right, but I agree with the philosophy. If she's cheating, or you catch her, if she's caught up in some stuff, you don't deal with him that way. That's emotionalism. That doesn't have anything to do with the woman. Yes, she ain't about nothing, but the man was not supposed to be an emotional wreck in dealing with that. He was supposed to be mindful and strategic in how he lets her go, right, and keep on moving. Let the brother have her.
Our community, Sapphire, is full of simps, not pimps. Like that's what I'm saying.
Emotionally unstable creatures. Emotionally unstable creatures. Say it like that.
But could that be toxic? You calling them simps? When they're emotionally,
because you just said it. Let me tell you the definition of a simp. That's why I said I don't want to disrespect your uncle, but you said he does all that stuff, be flashy to pull a girl, and then gets upset when he's being a simp. Because you really don't, a real woman, like you don't have to do all of that. He's simping for a certain type of woman, and then he gets his heart broken. That's what this community is full of, and a lot of it has to do with the imagery we see for these clowns and these music videos and these movies. We think that's, that's how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like Willie was saying with the girl he was dealing with, she thought she's supposed to be his trophy. Why? Because she was dealing with simps before Willie. You feel me? So when she got a real man, she didn't know how to, you feel me? Like Willie said, you don't got to tell me. You feel me? You don't got to coach me on how to be a man and how to take care of you. I was going to do that regardless. That's how I was brought up. You feel me? You only do that is when you dealt with simps. And the community.
But what does the culture teach them? What does the culture teach the man and the woman as far as assertiveness and your accessibility to a mate? What? Tell me straight out. What does this black culture teach its people about that?
To be simps and to be hoes. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so wait a minute. So we're gonna beat them up for the mindset that we lay out for them, and they soak it up, and instead of us instilling in them that they are emotionally unintelligent. Because when we do those kinds of things, that's what it is. We are relying upon emotion, and let's be honest, we're an emotional people. We're very animated. That's why we have the black church. It's full of emotionalism. That's where the music comes from. That's why the pastor, got Jerry curl or some dreads, or skinny jeans on and a pink shirt. Emotional. We want to see them.
The black church.
Right. So if we want to stop this with this toxic masculinity and toxic femininity and the violence, we need to instill integrity and emotional intelligence, because that will override all this other stuff. And when I say emotional intelligence, I'm talking about teaching the young men that, hey, if she want to get out there and do it like that, it's your job to let her go.
But you got to teach the women.
It's your job to be intelligent and let her go. And guess what? Don't go back to her. You can shake the man's hand and say, bro, you got her. You got her. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? Good luck.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And teach the women that too. I think we did an episode on that before where we was like, you know what I mean? You don't, if your man cheating, you don't go after the girl. You go after your man, because that girl don't owe you nothing. Same thing, same rule applies for the man.
Exactly.
You don't have to go shoot him up, bang bang with some dude. You feel me? Get rid of that. You should be thankful. That's what I always say. I always tell a woman, you don't have to cheat on me. You feel me? It's deeper than sex, because I feel like you're using me. You feel me? If you want to go be with somebody else, just go sleep with somebody, just go do that. You feel me? Like we gone. We could break up. You know what I mean? That's just let me know I can move on and find somebody else. But when you try to play that game, that means you're using me. And we don't have to. You feel me? So I would never go after the other dude. I will always remove myself from the female, remove herself from me, or remove her from me. Like you know what I mean? But not in our community. It doesn't. Those situations are far and few in between. Far and few in between.
You know why? Because they will change the dynamics of our relationships. Because can you imagine if 80%, no, let's just say 50% of the women who have problems with their men, cheating and hoeing around, if 50% of those women let that brother go and walked off into the sunset, it would be even more single women. Do you see what I'm saying? So there are women who are under peer pressure, and they don't want to look like, well, I can't keep a man, so something must be wrong with me. And so here we have these emotional baggages strapped to our backs, the male and the female, because of how we view one another when we do make intelligent decisions regarding our relationships. You see what I'm saying? And so we have got to make it sexy to say, hey, I'm going to have to let you go. I'm going to have to let you go. I'm sorry. I can't put up with it. You know, I'm better than that. And when you can, and then that, I believe that will force people
can I ask you a question?
To be honest.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Sapphire?
If it's not too personal.
No, it's a general question. What do you think monogamy is the ideal setup for us? Do you think we all supposed to be monogamy, or do you think it's just a social construct that's not fit for us?
Well, let me say this. Monogamy is the ideal conjugal relationship for some of us. Those of us who are into, how do I say this? Extremely spiritual connections, because I know you're going to say, you know, polygamists, these are spiritual people and so forth, but hear me out. Monogamy works for a sector of us. Polygamy can work for a sector of us, because I believe, unlike most people, that if we were to sit these brothers down who have 5 and 6 babies' mamas, and we said, hey, listen, we're going to give y'all some counseling, and since you're polygamous anyway, but you're not practicing it correctly, we're going to teach you how to practice it, and we're going to give you some counseling so that you can be with your children, and all of you all can be together without all of this drama. That'll take care of a lot of the single parents. I mean, I'm laughing, but I'm serious. I want you to know I'm serious, right? Mm-hmm. And so for the people who are responsible with no children, who want monogamous relationships, yes, I'm for that, because I would not have a single person, let's say a single woman, join a commune of polygamists when she's single and she doesn't have any children. No, she don't have any mouths on her womb. She don't need to be sharing, you know what I'm saying, bodily fluids with 12 other people. That's not intelligent. But for the people who are already practicing polygamy, but they're not doing it the correct way, yes, I believe a man should go and collect his baby's mothers and his children instead of, you know, sneaking around and having them fighting one another and the kids talking about, this my daddy, that's your daddy. You know what I'm saying? Teach them how to do it properly, because they're already doing it.
I think that's a topic we got to revisit for a show, and we want you to call in.
Yeah, that'll definitely be an interesting topic. But yeah, we do got like less than a minute, so I got to wrap this up. Give out your info.
Y'all know y'all can hit me up on my blog, kingstruth.com, Twitter @eTrentonGrooming.
Always, this was a great conversation. Enjoyed y'all. You get at me at Willie Styles everywhere, STYLEZ. Give me at stylesradio.com.
And of course, I am Sunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Text me on my blog, Unreservedly Me. Thank you, Sapphire, for calling in. Thank you, Dame, for calling in. It's definitely been a very, very interesting topic. I know we're going to get a lot of listens off this one because, when we agree to disagree, it's always a good topic. So definitely listen in, guys. Check us out on IG and Twitter at G.F.T_radio. Like our Facebook page, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, YouTube, Blog Talk Radio, of course. I'm trying to think of where else we at. Our website, gftradioshow.com. Thank y'all for listening tonight. Clint.
See y'all in 7 days.
Bye, guys.
Holla.